Deal surgeons, elite masterminds, what's going on? This is Diamond Life, and I'm doing a psychology series right now, and I want to label it has to be deeper than the money, and that is deeper than the money. I think I might have already mentioned this in my previous podcast, but this psychology series is for people who just not starting out, and I think it really can help. So let's get to it. So what I mean by this, I'm pretty sure you done heard this before, but it has to be deeper than the money. I'm pretty sure you done heard about like people like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg, or these people who start these companies, and then you see that they say, well, they started to make money, but they'll say like, I didn't start it to make money, or I'm not in this for the money. And I used to always think like, they must be full of crap, right? Like, man, you full of crap. Like, you did start this for the money. And when I actually got into this trading, I started to really understand what they meant. Okay, so, and let me explain this to you. If you're in this just to get a quick buck, then you're going to figure out very soon that it has to be deeper than the money if you're going to stick with this stuff. Okay, I'm talking about for people that really want to trade, not the people who trying to take signals to make a few bucks. Yeah, you can get lucky every now and then because the person giving the signals, who the hell knows what they got going on where the signal's going to work all the time. So you may end up breaking even, right? But I'm talking about for the people that really see this as a real business and something that they want to master long term. It has to be deeper than the money. When I first was a freshman in college at Morris Brown, I remember, reading the Wall Street Journal, and I remember, just watching CNBC, Mark Kramer, Jim Cramer, and all this kind of stuff. Like, I was always fascinated with the stock market and stuff like that, but I never did anything with it. I had an uncle who was day trading at the time. I should have asked him a long time ago, how this stuff worked. But, and so I had that experience. That was in 2001. And then in 2010 or 2012, I ended up going to a seminar where they was selling software and stuff like that, right? So I'll go to the seminar, I'm sitting in the classroom. I forget the name of the company. I think it was in Georgia somewhere. And so they up here, selling signals, talking about, when it goes up, press buy. When it goes down, press sell. And, I think I paid $500 for the software. And I was one of those people who was looking for a quick buck at the time. But I still was interested in stock market and trading. Not really trading, but the stock market. I always thought you had to have $25,000 to get an account. And I was like, man, damn. Well, I guess I got to build myself up. So that's 2010. Then in 2000, I'm trying to give you all the chance encounters I had with trading in the stock market. So then again, that's 2012. Then in 2016 or something like that, I had a friend that I haven't seen in years and years. He told me about some guy named The Wiz in Georgia. He's like, hey man, come out to The Wiz. This guy, he give out free stock advice. And it's like, I always had this interest. And then the last time it happened before I actually got on the trading journey, for real, was in 2020 when COVID happened. One of the people in my office, this white guy named Oleg, he was like, hey man, I got my Robinhood account, and he's like, do you trade? I'm like, trade? He wasn't a real trader like I am now, but he was one of these Robinhood type people. People like me, we look at people like that like, not a real trader. I don't have no Robinhood account. I have, TD Ameritrade. I have overseas brokers and stuff like that. I have MT5 or Trade Locker, that type of stuff. Okay, so he's talking about Robinhood and everything, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I end up buying this guy's program. The name, he's in jail right now for touching like underage girls. It's kind of weird, but his name was Brother Polite. So he had a program called Gold in the Crisis. So I bought the program Gold in the Crisis. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to come up, man. I'm about to get the Gold in the Crisis, and and I kept checking the mail. Nothing came, and dude turned out to be a scammer for real, and he's in jail right now for touching underage girls. Okay, so the whole point is, I had a curious interest in this trade and in this stock market stuff for years and years and years and years. And the whole purpose of this call is it has to be deeper than the money. Yes, we want to make money. Yes, we want to make millions. We're going to do that. people have done that, but the whole point is it has to be deep. To me, I think it has to be deeper than the money, because to me, I just always want deeper than making money secretly. I just always want to know how this stuff worked. I want to know how does somebody look at a chart? Had a notification come up. How does somebody look at a chart and figure out where price is going without indicators? Like, how does this stuff work? Like, these Wall Street hedge fund people, like, how the hell does all this stuff really work? Okay, they're trading stocks, they're trading markets, they're trading companies, they're looking at a chart. You got Wall Street traders on the floor. I'm from Chicago. I should have went down to the Chicago Board of Trade, truth be told, and had somebody mentor me if I could go back. And the funny thing about it is, before I continue the story, I always told people for years and years and years, when I was doing internet marketing and stuff, I used to joke around with people. I said, man, if I can go back, I would have been a stockbroker. Okay, so the whole point is, to me, for this trading stuff, it was always deeper than the money. Yes, I wanted to make money. Yes, profits have been made, but I'm talking about secretly, I was like, I probably would do this even if I didn't get paid for it. I just wanted to always study patterns and strategies to really get an edge on this stuff. Because when I seen that it wasn't gambling, which a lot of people think it is, and I used to get mad at when people think that, but now I'm like, they're on the outside looking in, right? I'm on the inside looking in, so I get it. So I said, this has always been deeper than the money. So what I'm saying is, if it's deeper than the money, then what's the whole point? You're going to stick with this trading or whatever you're doing. You're going to stick with it more and longer than the person who is in it for the money. Yes, they're going to do all the studying. Yes, they're going to stay up late at night, just like you're doing. But it's all about longevity. You think about Usain Bolt, right? The guy who is the track star. If you think about it, when the gun goes off, they all start at the same point, don't they? On a track. Just imagine it. You see Usain Bolt there, got his track shoes on. He looked to the left, see all his competitors. Look to the right, see all his competitors. They all start off at the same line. But how does he continue to win the races? It's not about starting off sprinting real fast, because a lot of people do that, and then towards the end, they slow down, and then it's the person who maintained the pace is the person that actually won. So what I'm saying is, if it's deeper than the money, trading, then you're going to stick with it when you're not even winning. Does that make sense? You're talking to somebody right now on the phone, which you hear, who went over 2 years, every single week, and I'm not exaggerating, every single week losing, frustrated, losing, depression, losing, deep depression, losing, next week, losing. When you want me to stop? Losing. Studying my ass off all day, every day, losing. So why did I stay? Because it was deeper than the money. Do you understand that? I knew that I would get it, right? But it was deeper than the money. I always wanted to know how this stuff worked. Every single week, I was making progress in knowledge and education and strength. I was making progress with something that was so powerful, when other people probably looked at me and thought about what Anthony was doing, probably nothing. I find that to be hilarious. People that actually know me think that, I wasn't doing nothing, or I was going to be average, or I was going to, hey, I guess some people probably did think that. Take my hat off to them, I guess. The whole point is, it has to be deeper than the money, because you are not going to. I know people listening to me right now. Appreciate you listening. You probably think you're going to get in here and just hit it out the park. You might. I hope you do. But if it don't work like that for you, then what are you going to do? If you have to go through the process of, because I know some people are like, I got this person's course, well, I'm going to take the course, follow their strategies, and I'm just going to be on. I thought that too. But this is more of a psychology game. And somebody really going to pick that up. But it's going to take you years and years later, probably, to really understand what it is. The whole point of this call is it has to be deeper than the money. That don't matter. It's whatever you're doing. The main reason I kept getting knocked down, like I saw a quote that said, how many times can you get up when you can't get up anymore? I was like, God damn. That is the realest thing ever wrote, especially when it comes to trading. How many times can you get up when you can't get up anymore? God, that's what this is, And so that's the whole purpose of this call, man, is that it has to be deeper than the trading. You should have already had a passion for like how the stock markets work, or like how hedge funds work, how the most powerful people in the world control money. You know, you don't have to necessarily know how hedge funds work, but it's all tied to the stock market. It's all tied to charts, right? It's all tied to this whole trading thing, this whole commodities and futures. And like, this should have been something that you may have thought was confusing, but you said, you know, one day I'm actually want to see how this stuff works. I believe that's the only way that's going to get you to continue to keep going, because not just out of pure belief that you're going to make it. Yes, that's part of it, but it has to be a deep curiosity about how it actually works. Like, for instance, if I wasn't trading right now, I'll be one of these people that's coding. You know, I'll be one of these people that's learning how to code, and, you know, I'm still kind of fascinated how that works. So if I ever went into coding, I probably would stick with it, because yes, I want to make money. Yes, I would like create programs, but the whole point is like, how does it actually work? Like creating programs that work on their own and machine learning. And I think it's fascinating, this trade, maybe more, right? Because the most powerful people in the world who run companies, software companies, they understand this stuff, right? So what I'm saying is it has to be deeper than the money, or you're going to quit. When you lose, if you're one of these people that's like, well, if it don't work next week, I'm going to quit. Or if I don't win next week, if I keep losing, I'm going to quit. It's like those people quit a lot, like over 95% of people in this business quit after like 6 months. It's because it's not deeper than the money to these people. They just want to get in and like follow a strategy and think they're going to get rich, or, you know, have a high income. It might happen like that, right? But I just really want to reiterate to people, this is kind of common sense in a way, but I used to always hear people like Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs, they're like, well, I really wasn't in it for the money, and, you know, I was in it for the passion. I used to hear that stuff before I got on the journey, quote unquote. I used to hear that stuff, and I used to be like, man, that's BS. You got in it for the money. And I understand now. It's like, yes, people are in it for the money, but the deeper cause, root is fascination, curiosity, creating something, building something. You know, later on in my life, I actually looked in the mirror probably about 4 years ago, and I was like, man, what skill set do I actually have? Like, I was doing some internet marketing and stuff like that and had some kind of success, but I'm like, man, what skill will like my kids be proud of me? What can I teach them where they'll be proud of me in the future? You know, that's just what I was thinking about. And at that time, it was it dawned on me that I actually didn't have nothing really going on. And it was like a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. And I was in not a relationship, but it was a situationship. I had a girl that recently had moved to the city I was in. And I'll tell you a story real quick. So she recently moved to the city I was in. And, you know, me and her messing around, and, you know, she had more things going on than me at the time. And she was like pushing me around, and, you know, basically I wanted it more than she wanted it, and she knew that because she had more going on than me. And I remember putting a lot of energy into that situation. We was only talking for about 2 or 3 months, but I put a lot of energy into it. Okay. And I remember thinking like, what the hell? And then when she discarded me, which she should have, I was like, what the hell did I just do? I put all my energy into this person. And if I had a certain skill set going on, or if I had a certain real powerful skill that can make millions or billions, like a real skill, and I wanted a skill set that was recession proof. Because really during COVID, that's another reason that made me stick with this as well. And that's why I'm saying it has to be deeper than the money. The whole COVID thing, like, you know, I promise I didn't have trading going on at the time. I didn't have nothing real. I was doing internet marketing. Yes, I learned about copywriting and stuff like that, but it wasn't something I was willing to die for. You understand that? I was just doing it. The marketing and stuff like that. It wasn't like, no, it wasn't like I have to have this. Do you understand that? It wasn't like, no, this has to work or I'm going to be nothing. That's the point people have to get to, and I understand that they don't want to get to that point because it's scary. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary to get to the point. You can have this dinner conversation and tell people you about that life, but when you actually get on this path and say this has to happen, well, check back with me when you do something like that. Seem a lot easier than you think. You put in all that work and you think you deserve something just because you put the work in. It don't work like that. You know, you have to create the result. Okay, so getting back to the story with the girl, so I'm putting in all that work into this person, and then I'm like, dog, you did all that work into this girl, and you don't even, if you had this skill set, if you had a different life, then you know it would be a different result with her. And so right then and there, right after that, that was in June or July, I believe, 2021, I said, I'm about to start looking for something. And then I reverted back to real estate. And I was like, well, I'm going to put my all into that. And then I put my all into that. And then I found out that's not something that I wanted to do, because I had already had success in real estate at a young age, at like 20 years old. Closed on our first deal, made $43,000. Me and my business partner. And so I was like, well, I need to do something that I never done if I'm really gonna go in. And then that's when the whole trading thing came up, and I just never put it down, man. It's like every single day, all day, since August. Was it August 13th, 2021? Yeah, I've been on this path every single day, no days off. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the call. It's a little bit too long. The whole point of this is it has to be deeper than the money, man. Whatever you're doing. I'm specifically talking to traders, but whatever you're doing, man, it has to be deeper than the money. There's no way in hell somebody like me that couldn't really commit to something, was doing businesses just because it was easy. There's no way in hell I would have. I'm even surprised at myself that I've been doing this long, and I haven't given up. And I've been working on it nonstop, even when people haven't been looking. I have been doing what I have to do, even when nobody's looking, because that's who you really are. What you do when nobody's looking. You may talk all this talk, but you're watching YouTube videos all day when nobody's looking. You may say, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to do this and do that. And then when it's not working, you're trying to talk to women or trying to talk to men to escape, versus looking at what you did wrong to fix it, right? So this is Diamond Life. I'm going to go ahead and end the call. Appreciate you guys listening in. Haven't done a psychology call in a super long time. But I was just thinking, like, what can I do a call about? And I'm like, man, these people have to know this. It has to be deeper than the money, man. And I know people hear that, and I tried to break it down for you on why it has to be deeper than the money by bringing up Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg when these people talk about, I didn't start it for the money, and it sounds like total BS. But when you get on the path, you understand what they meant by that. So this is Diamond Life. Just remember that you're a champion because you choose to be. All right, be great.